Welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is Amit, and today I'm going to go through my 1-month update of the hair transplant that I got in Turkey. Now, before we do jump into that, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who has liked and subscribed to most of my videos that I've been putting out. It really motivates me to keep putting videos out, and I'm really glad that people want to follow me along this journey to see whether my hair comes back after this hair transplant or not. If you are new to my channel, please do consider liking and subscribing. Hopefully I can bring some value to you in future videos that I post. So I'm going to be going through everything that happened from the start of the first week up until the 4th week, which is when I'm posting this video. So the first week of my hair transplant, this is the week that I actually went to Turkey to get this done. It was quite daunting and it was quite terrifying, to be honest, getting on a plane to go and get a hair transplant in a different country, but I managed to do it. If you're interested to know my honest review of the clinic that I went to, I'll leave that link in the description below. You can definitely check that out. I definitely had my own reserved thoughts about them, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with where I went and the outcome of what it is right now. So I think the first week was the most uncomfortable, to be honest, for me or for anybody that does a hair transplant. I think that's the week that has the most change for you, especially if you have never really shaved your head before or never really gone through any type of surgery on your head. Like it's a big deal. It's not something that people talk lightly about, but it's definitely something that you experience. And I, for one, definitely was not expecting to see myself, with a big swollen head, or to see so much blood that was kind of gushing out of my head after the surgery. But it was something that you have to go through if you want to achieve the desired hair that you want. So it's really a process to kind of swallow and kind of go through. The clinic that I went to was Vera Clinic. From the moment I landed in Turkey up till the moment that I went to see them at the clinic, it was seamless. They picked me up, they put me in a hotel, they brought me to the clinic in the morning, and it was a very seamless process. But of course, getting the transplant was one thing, because you're the one who's going through it, and it is quite scary, to be honest. But at the end of the day, the staff and everybody else at the clinic make sure that it's not as scary as one would think. But after the transplant, on that first week, I think, again, it was the most uncomfortable for me. The swelling was something that I had to get used to for a couple of days. Sleeping was something I had to get used to for a couple of days. I think these two were the biggest things after getting the transplant, and it was hard to adjust, but once you figure out a routine for yourself and things that kind of work for you, it's not too bad. I do have a video that shows you how to sleep, and I also talk about the swelling that you do get post-hair transplant, so if you are interested, do check that video out as well. So in the second week, there was still some discomfort in regards to sleeping. The clinic advised us that you should really start sleeping on your back after the 7th day. I personally waited until the 11th or 12th day once my scabs were removed. Once that happened, then I kind of felt more comfortable putting my head on my pillow without having risk of an infection or having risk of losing my grafts on my head. But once the sleeping was totally fine, I felt like I was kind of back to normal. There are instances that when you lay your head on the pillow, you do still feel like a little stinging sensation on the back of your donor area, but your current hair is growing out and you're pressing against something. Naturally, it is going to feel like a little pokey, but this is also because your donor area is still healing, and it still needs some time to really be able to get used to surfaces like that, especially after such a huge surgery. So I think something like that, you'll get over it, and over time it will be okay. Week 2 was also the week where you have to get rid of your scabs on top of your head. Now, this is definitely a process. The clinic does advise on the 10th or 11th day to actually start being able to scrub out the scabs on your head that develop over the first 2 weeks. I do also have a video on this showing you how to wash and shampoo that entire area, and hopefully it can help guide you remove the scabs on your head. When it happened, it took longer than expected. I thought it would be like a 5 or 10 minute job, but scrubbing out everything, making sure you're not really like pulling out all of the grafts on your head, that was a little scary for me, but eventually it took about 40 minutes overall to kind of get all that out. Currently now all the scabs are out, and it's perfectly fine to be able to touch your head, move around, and not worry about grafts falling out. So on week 3, I pretty much got back to normal, to my daily routines. I was able to start back with my own vitamins. I was able to do some light cardio training, and just felt like I was back to normal and not just afraid to move around or meet people or go out, because my head, again, I just felt like there was so much trauma that I didn't really want to risk going out and interacting with anything that could hinder my transplant that just happened. This was also the week that I started using one of the products that they had recommended, which was called the GF Serum. I would usually put some drops on my head at night before I sleep and massage the transplanted area with it. Now the serum is supposed to help promote hair growth and regrowth of the hair that's on the transplanted area, enabling it for a quicker recovery and quicker resolution to your hair coming out. Now on the 4th week, which is this week basically, I have felt pretty much back to normal in all aspects. I haven't really thought about being too worried about the hair on my head. The only thing I do notice now is, obviously, as you can tell, there's a lot of shedding going on with my hair. If you've seen my older videos, you definitely can tell that the transplanted area was a bit more thicker than this. But you know, as I've been doing my own research, they say that shedding is very common and normal throughout this entire phase. And I believe that this is probably the worst phase that you're going to go through of a couple of months. So hopefully I'm just going to wait it out and see how long this will go. In the meantime, because you can tell, like, the sides of my hair is growing back out. I was told by the consultant today that I'm able to go for a haircut and trim this area down. So I'm planning to maybe do that to kind of level it up to make it look a little more natural. But right now I'm kind of looking like Danny DeVito here, with my little hair on the sides and not really much at the top. You know, it's still a learning process for me too. I'm trying to go through the ropes and apply everything I need to apply and follow the procedures of what the clinic recommends after that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to keep going, and hopefully in the next month's update you'll probably see some hair growing out, or even more in the future. I'm also starting to see little pimples here and there, but you know, again, at the end of the day, I've been reading online that pimples are a good sign, whereby the transplanted hair on your head is trying to grow out, so it forms a little pimple from the top of your head. So don't fear if you do see pimples on your head after the first month. I believe it's normal. Just looking ahead, I'm just really excited to see where this hair transplant procedure takes me. If you watch my other videos, you would notice that the transplanted area that I got was mostly for my hairline and the front half of my hair. I also wanted to get my crown done, but unfortunately they couldn't extract enough grafts to cover that area for me. They did recommend me coming back for a second session. Initially I was not too keen on it, but seeing the progress of this current situation will really be the basis of my decision moving forward. I think that overall I would love to get everything done and be done with it, but I do also want to just see over the next few months how well my hair grows back with the grafts that have been placed on my head for now. I think one very important thing to note is that, you know, time will fly and the hair will come back, hopefully, in the end. But until then, I think the most important thing for anybody who's going through a hair transplant is to just trust the process of everything. I think one of the most important things to take away from this entire month that has gone by is that time flies. I can't believe that it's already been a month, and you know, I do definitely see some progress. And more importantly, I think this entire experience has made me a little more comfortable just being like this. When I had hair loss, I was so scared by always trying to cover up my hair or putting fibers and concealing my head, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm pretty okay right now, and I think that's something this type of process kind of helps us who are losing hair kind of come to terms with as well, because you never know, one day you might want to rock the bald look. Now you know what you look like. I also think just to trust this process, if we follow the regimens and we follow the aftercare, I think overall your hair will eventually come back. And also lastly, just a quick shout out to the clinic that I went to again, Vera Clinic. Throughout this whole month, they've been pretty good with follow-ups. They've definitely been messaging like every week and asking to send photos and to just double check on us, and even so they recommend what to use, what not to use. Like, I asked my consultant a question about Minoxodil the other day, and he gave me steps to basically follow, where I should be applying it, when I should be applying it. Also in regards to going to the gym, he would tell me when I should actually wait, when I shouldn't go. All these little things make a difference too post your hair transplant, because you know, you don't feel like you're completely alone, and having somebody there from the clinic, especially with you side by side, it really makes a big difference. If you are interested in checking out the clinic that I went to, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can sign up for a free consultation, and they'll definitely give you all the information that you need if you're planning to get a hair transplant. Now very quickly, I'll just show you the top of my head of where the transplanted area was. As you can see, most of the area was kind of covered with all my 6,000 grafts. So as you can tell from the donor area, I think it's you know, I feel like it's a little thin, but you know, it is what it is right now. I'm just trying to go through this recovery period, and hopefully it doesn't look too over harvested. I don't know if you can see at the back, but I'm hoping that over time this will get back to my normal donor area, how it used to look. They did say I did have good thick hair for donor area, so I'm hoping that that makes a difference to the top of my head as well, but time will tell. Alright, I think that wraps up my 1 month update. If you do have any questions about the hair transplant that I got in Turkey, or anything that happens after a hair transplant, please do comment below and I will try to respond to them as soon as I can. I might just make another video about the Q&A. Also, if you haven't checked that one out, I have a bunch of questions asked by you guys. So I've answered as much as I can, but if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask and I will happily respond to them as much as I can. And again, please do consider liking and subscribing if you want to follow me on this journey to get a full head of hair. Well, thank you again for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.